Hey guys, Marcel from theScore eSports here, and today we talk to Maxlore for the first time. I think this was your first 2-0 victory for Giants, and you guys seem to be, I mean, you had a really hard schedule at the first three matches rather, yeah. But you seem to be always doing well in early game, right? So can you explain why you guys always seem to do early game, like really well early game, but then it kind of collapses? What's like the problem right now?
I think for that, it's got to do with, one of them is communication. Like mid-late game, it's important to talk about like wave manipulation and warding and stuff like this. And with the Koreans, it's sometimes hard. And even with normal players, at the beginning it was hard since we were like coming into the LCS and I was nervous and other people were nervous. And some of it has maybe got to do with scrims because, you know, you just FF at 20 minutes or something. So you don't actually practice mid-late game stuff. But early game is pretty solid by us, I think.
So you talked about more the communication. Is it like hard to communicate with like two Korean players, or how's the communication actually working? Like, do you use smart pings, or is there in-game English like good enough to like communicate?
We have to use pings, but also we have to use like Korean English, where it's like go here, and you don't make structured sentence. You just like here, come, fight, stuff like this. You know, just one word, and they know what to do. But sometimes, if they don't understand something, they just talk Korean with each other, and then they say in English, and we all understand.
Okay, so I think Giants, like we talked about this already, where you guys are looking on the upswing a bit, right? So you guys have like a pretty easy schedule like on the table right now. Do you think that right now you guys can finally start to like develop, like keep up like with the winning streak, or what's like the next, what was this next week hold for you guys?
I mean, obviously we're going to look through the replays against HTK since they're also a good team. And we're going to try and learn mistakes that we did there and also things we could have done better in this series. Even though we went 2-0, there's still things we could have done better, like that G2 or SKT would have done, and we hopefully learn from that and implement it in our scrims.
Okay, so the one thing I always ask a jungler in their first interview when they come from solo queue or challenger scene to LCS, there's like, it's like a different level, right? Like from your perspective, how much different is like the solo queue jungling or scrim jungling to like actually playing on stage?
Solo queue jungling is just like, you just pray to the elo gods that, you know, your laners play safe if you ping enemy junglers topside, for example. And scrims, everyone tends to play more aggressive and test their limits more, so you'll just get like a team fight over Wind Dragon, for example. But here, people would think more and be like, okay, that's a bad idea. So I think the first few weeks, especially for me, I found it hard to adapt, especially against Spirit, because he's very farm-intensive jungler. And I was trying to make things happen, but I got really far behind because of that. So I learned that I should focus on farming more in competitive than I do in scrims.
Okay, so talk about the game. You guys played the 2-0. What do you think were like the key moments maybe, or why did you guys take the series like 2-0? Do you think that Unicorns is probably a bit weaker right now than all the other teams, or is it just you guys are actually like doing really good stuff in the game?
I think, no flame of course, I think the Unicorns of Love are weaker than H2K, Fnatic and G2, but I think it's also, the more we play with each other in competitive, the more we understand maybe our faults and what we're good at. So my team could say to me, oh, you're not communicating where the enemy jungler is enough. And so on stage, I try to focus on that more, for example.
All right, thank you so much for this interview. Very cool to finally interview you, and best of luck to the Giants, and hopefully more wins, right?
Yeah.
No, hopefully. So if you guys want to check out more interviews, we have you covered at theScoreEsports.com. Make sure to download our app, follow us on Twitter or whatever, and see you guys next time.